Welcome back to Doc's Hot Shop and Forge. So today is not so much a hot work day as a general work day, and we are going to go and harvest a couple of stumps for anvils. So I've got two anvils in-house right now that need stumping. One is my old 300 pounder. I'd love to replace this one with that. So this one can go over on the back wall and will only be used when I need it. The other stump is for the 380 pound sawyers, and I will probably be trying to find a stump that's big enough for future anvils. So let's get out in the bush and let's find some stumps, and then we'll do some tidying up of one of them at least, and get that more or less ready to fit the anvil to. Come along for the ride. So I went out to a property of a guy I know and found some deadfall which had already been cut up, so the clear chunks had been removed. So I basically just collected a branching section with multiple branches, so that's very unlikely to split, and a number of a section that had a fork in it, which is also unlikely to split. So cutting up the lower portion of the fork for this section. So step one for this new anvil stand, get the bark off this monster, and then we'll trim up the sides a little bit. We do have a slight discrepancy here, but probably going to tidy that up with a belt sander and a really coarse belt. So let's get the bark off this beast, and then we'll lay out. Yeah. This one's not very very level underneath, unfortunately. Now, because this is seasoned, this bark is going to be a pain in the ass to get off. Normally when this stuff is fresh, you just tap on it a little bit and then you can break it off. That's not going to be the case this time around. Now I'm told this was stringy bark, but that bark is looking a little more iron barky to me than stringy bark. Anyway, let's keep going. We do have some borers to deal with. They're not much of a problem though, in the scheme of things. Because they only really ever go for the inner bark, so they'll be in that layer there, and they won't go anywhere deep, go deeper than that. So this is the stump for my old anvil. sometimes you get lucky, and even when it's dry, it comes off easily. Most often with Australian hardwoods, you're not. Now, this stump, as you'll see, is actually the crotch of a fork in a big tree. So splitting is unlikely to be an issue. These grubs though, are long term going to be an issue. Can't quite see it on this side. The crotch is more visible on the other side. Now, don't quite have enough on this end, so this is the footprint of that anvil. It's going to go on here, and really that's about the best I can do. But I might be able to squeeze a little bit more of it onto the stump if I turn it over. Does mean I'll have to work on this face to make it a bit flatter. Alright, more or less the last of the bark. Alright, so you can see this is where the trunk bifurcated. This is reasonably well seasoned iron bark or stringy. I haven't quite figured out which it is. So, let's see how much we can fit into it. Okay, that's much better. I'll get more or less all of it. One toe is just going to be in the air. Big question is, do I go all the way down to the ground, so I end up with a rectangular column, or I splay it out, so I end up with a round footprint? I don't know if you can just make these out, but that's the footprint of the anvil that's going on here. So, fair bit of material to be taken off. Now, I'm going to set up for doing that, and then I'm going to figure out a way to level this top surface. Actually, that doesn't need anything. Probably not as square as I'd like it. But look at the guidelines, really. Now we've got some guidelines marked out. I guess we cut one, and we'll see how we go. Alright, that's side one done. Not too bad. A bit of sanding and a bit of linseed oil, it'll be good. So, that's the first side. Now basically the chainsaw will follow the line on this side, and this side will take care of itself. Alright, let's rearrange the supports underneath so we don't run into them. And do the next couple sides, so we can get this one more or less ready for an anvil. And we're done. Now we're just going to true up the top. So what we're going to do is put this side down, because we've got about 1 centimetre too much on this side, and then we'll true it up. and hope it ends up flat enough to actually seat the anvil. So we're a bit hollow, bit raised there, a bit hollow. In fact, the hollow is slightly better because it allows us to backfill with silicone. But realistically, we want this reasonably flat. So what I might do is set up some lands around it and use the router in the next couple of days with a nice carbide bit and just take off all those high spots. So this is the little jig I've made up for routing the top flat. You can see some of my trial cuts. This cut here is 2 depth, and basically this caddy just runs on these rails backwards and forwards. Now I'm only cutting on the forwards because I don't have a stop on this side and it tends to wobble back and eat into this rail. So let's get this top routed a bit and we'll see about a trial fit shortly. Every time it comes to a stop, it has a tendency to want to go this way. Alright, so it's about as flat as we're going to get that surface. We've got good contact for the feet. The centre will have a good bearing surface, and we are bedding it down on some silicone anyway. So overall this should work quite nicely. So now that we've got this top surface flat, let's get it over to where the anvil is and do a trial fit. See if we're happy with it, see if it sits well, and then we can, for the next video, we'll measure out where we want the retaining band for the tie down to go. Alright, let's get things moved. Alright. Have to move that one out of the way whilst we get the anvil up to height, because it's going to want to swing. it fits pretty much the right height. Probably a tiny bit higher than it should be. Let's have a look with a hammer. Short of having to move this an awful long way now, that is pretty much exactly where I want that. Height-wise, I'm nearly at full extension. Hammer ends up flat on the face. So, now, we just need to figure out where we want that band to go. And we'll do that in the next video. So if you've enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up. Feel free to share on social media. And if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. When you do, don't forget, ring the notification bell. So get out to your shop. Have fun. But do stay safe. And I'll catch you for the next one.